Uh, Good morning, wherever you are in the world. There's a lot of people from all over the place. As you can see, I'm back in Jupiter, Florida. You can judge by the palm tree. Happy to be here. The weather's, in the 70s, which is a hell of a lot warmer than what it was when I left New York. It was, I think, freezing or just below freezing. But, it's nice. And my wife and my two boys are coming here on the 24th. So we're going to celebrate Christmas here. I think it's going to be wonderful to try something different. And proud Mimi, good to see you. Good afternoon, Mimi. So good to see you. People slow to get here today. Trump King 24. Hello, Bill. Hello, everyone. Sherilyn Shafter, how are you? I saw you were in the chat last night, Sherilyn. Glad to see all you guys. Little Mermaid 85, Southern California. Well, East Coast girls are hip. I really dig those smiles they wear. Mindy Trout, afternoon from Boston. Thomas Jordan, always good to see you, Thomas. Janine K. Dan 1, cold here in Virginia. Pamela Gaunt, hello, hello, hello. West Point daughter, hello from Missouri. Wow, West Point. Kathy L, hello from Western Mass. Look at this, we're getting folks from all over the place. Kim Alliston, my buddy Kim, all the way from Great Britain. Shadow Dancer, Ireland's here. Yo, yo. Ireland, my alma mater, my heritage, where my ancestors are from. Sandra Williams from Venice, Florida. Crime Powwow, working but listening to your show. Great, thank you for coming. Kristen Ormiston, hello from Montana. Wow, big sky country, right? Huntington Beach, man, look at this. Brent Montgomery, howdy. Janine K, it's cold here in Pittsburgh. We're getting a good showing from all the Jersey Shore. Wow. Thomas Jordan, born and raised in Rockaway Beach, New York. Thomas, it's always good to have you here. Sherry Hill, cold in Mexico too. Hi from Italy. Wow. We're getting representatives from the whole world. This is like the United Nations here. So guys, I don't know if you listened to the show last night. I was on with Professor Mike Geary from Albertus Magnus College in New Haven, Connecticut. And Mike is a retired NYPD sergeant, very thoughtful guy, very smart guy. He's got a law degree. I believe he retired out of the NYPD Legal Bureau, but a smart guy. In fact, I used to teach at the same college as him. That's where I met him for many, many years. Nicole Bellino, hi from Dirty Jersey. What's Dirty Jersey? I didn't never knew Jersey was dirty. Chatham, PA. Mary Rickus, Northern California. Sierra is here. Glad to see you guys from all over the country. 142 in the chat, 41 with the thumbs up. Let's equal out those thumbs up, guys. You're forgetting to do the thumbs up. So we spoke a lot about the Idaho quadruple murder case, and it's getting really, even for me, I mean, I have to admit, I'm getting a little impatient, and I understand the work and how tough this case is. And look at Trump King 24. I absolutely love when you sing. You remind me so much of my father, a native from Queens. He passed 12 years ago. Well, I'm glad you like that. Janine K, hit the like button. You guys got to all hit that like button. So so we're talking about the case last night, and I thought we had a pretty damn good show last night. Sometimes I frankly, and anyone that is a content creator on YouTube or anywhere else, does not have all the answers. What I have, like everyone else that watches and partakes in real crime, true crime episodes on YouTube, is I have a lot of opinions. However, one of the good things about my opinions and my hypotheses is that I have a background in this in criminal investigation and homicide investigation. But it is frustrating sometimes. Janine K, I'm very fatigued from the case. Janine, can you imagine, if you're fatigued by the case, can you imagine the investigators? Where do they go next? And that's the big question. Some of the big questions that we asked last night. And homicide investigation is a series of stopping and starting over again, and giving a fresh look, maybe get some fresh eyes on the case. Janine Ergus, hello Bill, good to see you. Sergeant Bill, Ruth Ann Griffin, good to see all you guys. So imagine having to, before switching to live chat from top, that's something, Lisa, I've had to take the weekend off listening or watching any of this crime. I don't know how police investigators do it. Well, it's difficult. It is difficult. And the folks that do this for a living, they understand it. And I always compare investigation. One of the most important things in investigation from a police perspective is like, you never forget that you're a cop, and you have police powers. So you can do things that a lot of civilians can't do within the parameters of the law. But you can go, I mention it all the time, shake the tree. Let's go shake the tree. And I'm sure there's some crime in Moscow, Idaho. Every community has crime, organized crime. Candy Scarrett, thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. Thank you, Candy. Patrick Glanville, heard about De Niro getting burgled by a Grinch. Yeah, I saw something on that. You know, it's impossible these days. If you go on your computer, you're going to get stories from all over the damn world, you know. West Point daughter think the 24/7 cable. Yeah, you know, there's so much about this case, but is there really new information on this case? The newest information and the most hopeful leads that we got in this case, of course, is the Hyundai Elantra, the 2011 to 2013 white Hyundai Elantra. That's really the newest thing. And some of the other things that the news stations put out there and purported to be new information is not new information. You know, like the video that they just put out of the girls walking from the bar to to the food truck, and they've apparently had that for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's not anything new, so they've had it. They've had it for a long time, and it's new to us because they just handed it out, or they just let the public know about it. But they've had it for a long time. So the other thing we've talked about a little bit is Steve Gonsalves, and I'm really reluctant. I would not want to criticize Steve Gonsalves because I'm not in his situation right now. You know, he lost his beautiful baby girl. You know, and how any of us would act. Truth wins, UK. Good evening. I guess it's evening in the UK. Hello, how are you? So he lost his little baby girl, and how any of us would be acting if that happened to us, I don't think we can really say. He did hire an attorney to be, I guess, the spokesperson for the family. I don't know if that's, specifically a good idea. Shannon Gray is his attorney, and he's been the talking head to the media. Mary Ricketts, I try to spot Hyundai Elantras on Saturday. There's a lot of them out there. Barbara Ann, I think this most recent video is pertinent. Are you talking the video that I was just referring to, Barbara Ann, about the girls walking with that guy toward the food truck? Is that the one you're talking about? Charlotte Kehoe, this crime is linked to that other murder where someone broke in and killed a man and the woman. Look, there is several things that, and a lot of investigative information that only the police have the answers to. Is this case related to another murder case? Ruckus Rocks podcast. Hey Sarge, hey all. Good to see you, Ruckus Rocks. You have a podcast, Ruckus Rocks? I haven't heard of it. I don't mean that as a disparaging, I just haven't heard of that podcast. There's so many podcasts out there. Sometimes I get asked to be a guest on a podcast, and really the only podcast that I go on right now is Duty Ron's, because we know each other, we're familiar with each other, we're retired NYPD. It's not that I don't think the other podcasts are good, but my position on that is that I should really be on my own podcast and not someone else's. So I'm busy with doing this, and so that's why I've been asked lately by a couple other. Francesca, yes, I did. I saw that picture. I got it. I'll be reviewing it more later on. I've been extremely busy. I had to go out and do some errands this morning, so I haven't had a great chance to digest the emails. But this channel is growing, and by the way, if you're not subscribed, I see some new names out there. Go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell. It costs nothing to subscribe. It's absolutely free. So please subscribe to Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels, and we have YouTube channel membership with 5 different levels. And we appreciate all of our fans, our subscribers, and our friends, as I call them. So yes, I mean, I think of West Point daughter, newbie here, just subscribed. Thank you, West Point daughter. Ashley Oaks, Merry Christmas. Catherine Mooney, Trump King 24. You know, all you guys, good afternoon, Bill. Great show yesterday. New information about Idaho case every day. But do you notice that some stations sort of try to sensationalize it? You know, they try to sensationalize what's out there. And I know I watched a few episodes of Kenneth Maines. I think he's a smart guy. I like his material. He was talking about, or he did a show about the serial killer doing life in prison. He was asked about what does he think about this case, basically. And I don't want to try to quote him verbatim. I didn't listen to that specific show. But I personally, for me, the way I do things, I don't think that's helpful. All right, and that's just me. And I know everyone likes to think this is the silence of the lambs, but I don't think this. I'm old-fashioned. Pound the streets, shake the tree, investigate, go where the evidence leads you, right? Get the evidence. Lieutenant Pete, Harlem Raiders, is in the house, which means Richella must be not far behind. Guys, 284 in the chat, 131 with the thumbs up. Let's get more thumbs up. I mean, I'm happy with the amount of people that are coming to these coffees with cannons, you know. Coffee with Cannon, backyard beverage, bitching with Bill. For anyone that's new here, I have some new people every once in a while, and they think that this is the same show as Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. And it's just a little bit of a lighter show that I like to talk and have a conversation with my fans, my subscribers, my friends here. And it's a little bit different. But I enjoy it. I really enjoy coming out here, and look, you get to see a palm tree. And you can see it's a little colder in Florida because I'm wearing a jacket. Usually I'm not wearing a jacket, but it's a little bit colder. So not that much colder, but just a little bit. So yeah, this case is Catherine Mooney, Mulling with Mooney, my show. Catherine, do you really have a show? I'll look it up. Jamim Ergas, I think of this as a sane homeroom. Good, that's good, because no one referred to my class when I was a college professor as a sane class. They always said it was insane. Brent Montgomery, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I saw that you were also in the chat last night. Thank you for your support. Missouri, wind chills below 30 degrees. Whoa. Sandra Williams, we love Police Off the Cuff and Duty, Ron. Good, you're on the right track. You're listening to the right people. I must say myself. Colleen, Bill, you're the best. Thank you so much. Richella Pranzo, hello, multitasking Christmas stuff, listening in. Good, you know, Lieutenant Pete and Richella, they've been with me since the beginning. They're such great people, great fans, and true Italians, right? True Italians. I know Richella must be one of the best cooks this side of Italy. You know, they got that tradition They get the family. They got it all going on. So getting back to Vince the Donna, tanning with Cannon. I have this white Irish skin, light, you know. So first, before I tan, I burn, and then I have to slowly turn up the temperature a little bit, you know. Uh, yeah, slowly turn up the temperature. I know a lot of you guys with the olive oil in your skin, you just go immediately right to the tan. Not me. Catherine Mooney, the best meatballs. I always try to make meatballs for Super Bowl Sunday. I do it myself. It's a lot of work though. I tell you, it's a lot of work. You know, sometimes I posted like this big pot of meatballs and sauce one time, and there were like the anti-meat people going, "Oh, look at all that!" I was like, just go away, go away, go eat a cauliflower burger or something. You know, like let me enjoy my meatballs without some protester. You know. Trump King Italian here. Woo, there are only two types of people: those that are Italian and those who wish they were. They used to say that about the Irish too, but you guys have better food. Italian food is my number one favorite food. I could eat it 7 days a week probably, but my wife's like, "What are you doing? You're having pasta again? You're not supposed to have pasta." You know, so not that I'm not supposed to, but heavy duty carbs, right? Unbelievable. So. Miss my grandma Mona's meatballs, Nicole Bellino. Julia for Justice. Good to see all you guys. I'm seeing a lot of new faces in here, new names in here. Please hit that subscribe button. Great to see all you guys. Trump King is laughing. There you go, Pete. It's good to see all you people. It really is. I'm thrilled really to be down here. It's the first time I've ever not been in New York. For Christmas, and Martha Miner, love the different voices, Bill. Army mum, that's what they call a mom in Britain, mum. I remember I heard Brian May of Queen when he was, they were doing like a tribute concert to Freddie Mercury, and he sang that song, Love of My Life, which is like one of the most beautiful songs. Kylie Gao, subscribe and hit the button. Thank you so much. And he said, I want to dedicate this song to Freddie's mum because she's here tonight. And I guess, you know, Brits, they say mum, not mom. It's different, right? Kristen Connell, where's the beef? Good free range mountain raised meat is the best. Venison, bear, beef. Duty Ron is getting away from his busy day at work to join me on Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill. He says I'm burning too much oil here, you know. Coming on too, people are gonna get sick of me if I if I come on the air too often. But he's a frequent flyer too, you know. But Duty Ron's in the house. He is in the house, and I understand Ed Wallace has flown back from overseas, so you'll be seeing Ed Wallace pretty damn soon, you know. So. They'll be back. I got to find me in 2023. I have to find me a crime scene expert. I have someone in mind. I haven't called him yet. And I know he's like Ed Wallace. He travels all over the world. And I haven't asked him yet. And so I don't want to say his name because someone else will try to steal him. And he was a first grade NYPD crime scene detective. He even solved some huge cases that I was on through forensic science. So it's great. What did you think about the police body cam with the scream? You know, I just don't. I just don't know of all the things when I hear it on the internet. I don't know what's real and what's fabricated. We've been had before by that podcaster. What's his name? Joe Morris, who produced a fake scream and put it out there as. So I heard something, but again, I don't think you could really, Joey 19, that sound could be anything. I agree, you know, unless you can't really say what it is, you don't know where it's coming from. Where did they get it, you know? Was it really from body cam video? Is the recording device on body cam video that sensitive that it picked that up? It's got to be, I don't know how the distance away it was, but that's it's hard to believe. It's very hard to believe. Little Mermaid, love forensic science. Cherry Hill, not sure that was a scream. It was definitely a girl screaming, "No, stop!" But it could be anyone. Yeah, you don't know where it came from. A lot of this stuff, it's coming from a while ago. Look, it's coming from the 13th. Was 36 days ago, right? November 13th, this happened. And it happened on a Saturday night into Sunday morning between they're guesstimating between 0300 and 0400 in the morning. That's what they're guesstimating at. Now, one of the things that we would really like to know, and I think everyone would like to know, what's going on with the forensic evidence? Is it back? Is there any unidentified DNA in the crime scene, specifically blood evidence? Is there commingled blood that's not identified? That would be hopeful, I think. Misdemeanor, hello, police off the cuff and family. Conscientiously bless, he took the sound clip from a Twitch live stream. It was an actual TV incident, So look, guys, there's so many people right here, right now, telling different stories about that. So how do we know what is true in regards to this and what? I'm not boots on the ground investigating. I'm not knocking on doors and speaking to people. I don't have me and my detectives going out. Actually, I just thought of how many people would say, my detectives and I said it incorrectly. But, I always say that the education I have and the way I speak was ruined by the street. Because you mix your education, the way you speak intelligently, and then you go out on the street and you start speaking street slang, But that's necessary, to know how to speak street slang. Jara family vibes. That was shadowed, but the police body cam in the field. There was a female saying non-stop in the background, but we have no idea who it is. Yeah, I mean, guys, certain things, certain parts of this investigation is in the domain of the police. And that's why we're never going to have all of that information. And when we get it, it's going to be older. It's going to be old. It's going to be older than a couple of weeks. I think now that the Hyundai information was perhaps even older than they had first said. They put it out on a Thursday. I was saying, they probably had it on Sunday or Monday. I think they may even had it earlier on than that. Jara family vibes. Police officer, do you feel this case is going cold? No, I do not feel that it's going cold. I think that, look, they're working on this 24/7. If you start hearing that they're scaling back the investigation, that's when is a sign that a case is going cold. If they start pulling back resources from this case, that's a sign. All right. I don't think it's going cold right now. Nicole Bellino, I'd be terrified if we knew more than the investigators in any case. Yeah, but you know something? I call it, in these investigations, there's a lot of noise out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things being thrown out there as super important that aren't that important. And then they get investigated by the police because the police have to investigate every single tip that comes in. I can verify, Kate Princess, I can verify they aren't pulling back. An old town is completely full of officers. That's good. So that is a good indication that this case is not growing cold. Hopefully they're going to stay on this till there's an arrest. And I truly believe there's going to be an arrest in this case. I can't predict when. I can't predict that, but I'm pretty sure, that there's going to be an arrest. There's going to be an arrest down the road, Everybody's talking about this case in the true crime world, in the police world. I went out to dinner last week with some heavyweights from the NYPD, a chief and some detectives with a great deal of experience, and they they weren't, they were baffled too. They weren't like, they they didn't have all the answers. Let me put it that way. They definitely didn't have all the answers, and the chief even suggested that maybe they should get some of the best retired homicide detectives and have them help with this case. And I said, something, Chief, it's so political. Why not get the guys that are still on the job and have them, whether it's from New York, Chicago, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., the busiest areas, Baltimore, the busiest homicide areas in the country, and pull the best from there. And for some reason, he said, "Oh, you can't use active. You'd only be able to use retired." But there's an old expression. There's an old expression in policing: when you're on the job, you're a guest, and when you're off the job, you're a pest. So I guess I'm a pest. Yes, they could use, Francesca, they could use some experience, I think. And you can't get experience in a classroom. You can't get experience from a book. You have to actually do it. And that's what's lacking. And I'm not saying they don't have a will and they're not working hard. They are 100% working hard. And I think that we see some of the leads coming out of this, but some of the most important leads are with the forensic evidence, and we're not privy to that at all. We don't know what's coming back. We don't know if they have fingerprints. We don't know the whole thing that we've been saying. Was this targeted and personal? Was someone targeted? We've had so many, truth seeker, there's always a learning curve, absolutely. I said on another show that policing is one of the only jobs where, at least I said 90%, I'd say it's probably more like around 80% of what you learn is through on-the-job training, that you actually learn how to be a cop out in the field by other cops that teach you. And some places have field training officers, some places their sergeant teaches the cops. So it's a job that you learn through experience. In my time in the detective bureau, which I was in the detective bureau for 16 years, when white shields, a white shield is a cop. It's silver shield, really. They call it a white shield. So when they would come up to the detective squad or to the robbery unit, they were taught the art of interview and interrogation. Misty Kate, good morning. Good to see you. And I'm glad you joined our YouTube channel members. Thank you so much, Misty Kate. Very much appreciated. 397 in the chat, 224 at the thumbs up. We actually did cross over to 400. I think we were at 401, and then some people ran away. There's some of the chat, you guys, goes by so fast I can't always get to. I know you don't intimidate these over the case, but would you have done anything different from what we do now from the police? Reward more of, something. I always felt that that a reward can help. I really truly think that, and I still think it. And I don't understand why whoever was the Moscow police didn't want that. I also think it's fruitful to actually stand out in the community with a flyer, with the pictures of the victims on the flyer, and help us help you, and have a little paragraph describing what happened and who you could call and where to call and where you could get your information to. I find that very effective too. Could it be that the University of Idaho doesn't want that publicity? They don't want that out there? It could be. But I always found that to be very effective. Sometimes We would go right out into the community. I'd be out there too at traffic intersections, handing out flyers. And believe it or not, sometimes you hand it to just the right person. That misdemeanor 425 in the chat, 235 with the thumbs up. Radar CP, 100%. Everyone has to realize that 4 families have lost loved ones, and they need a professional, exacting investigation that results in an arrest and a conviction for the person or persons who did this, and we can't rush it. No matter how impatient the news media seems, and they are impatient. Look at what they invent. I mean, they can't come up with more different angles. Every day there's different angles coming. Where did the perpetrator come in? I had said earlier on in this investigation, 2 of the most important things about the crime scene are areas of entry and areas of exit. Where did the perpetrator come in, and where did the perpetrator leave? And there should be some kind of indication to that, i.e. a sign of forced entry, which apparently there is no sign of forced entry, a sign of evidence, blood, dirt, any that could be brought in. Remember, we talk about Locard's theory of exchange. Dr. Edmund Locard, he has to do with evidence, that transferred evidence. And when you, as a human being, walk into a crime scene, you bring something into that crime scene that the crime scene didn't ask for, put it that way. So by your mere presence, you are contaminating the crime scene. And when you leave that crime scene, the reverse is also true. You took something with you. So maybe you took an important piece of evidence with you just by the fact that you walked into the crime scene and you took something out of that crime scene. And that's why you see crime scenes, they try to limit the amount of people that enter a crime scene because it contaminates it. And we don't want that to happen, Someone was talking about, we had spoken about it earlier on, is that the university potentially doesn't want a reward, and potentially, and I'm not speaking for them, I think this could be the political reason behind it. They don't want a reward, and they don't want flyers up all over the place because it's sort of advertising that this murder occurred and their university is connected with it. But guess what? Until there's an arrest on this case, this is going to be a fact. It's going to be a fact of life, Will, I was reading it. I wasn't fast enough to read it. Bev Hillman, hello everyone. Welcome aboard. 450 in the chat, 264 with the thumbs up. Welcome. Trump King, elevate the good guys and stop listening to hours of speculation. Yeah, I mean, look, we try to bring you the police podcast. We try to bring you verifiable information. We try to educate in regards to how this case, what they're probably doing based on our experience, the investigative resources they could and should be using. Mary Hart, hello from Ireland. Good to see you. Aaron, okay, I hit the thumbs up. Arrest me. Aaron, great name, Aaron. That's an Irish name too, right? Hit the numbers. Irish Hewlett, hit the thumbs up, folks. Thank you, guys. 285 thumbs up, 448 in the chat. Guys, if you're not subscribed, If you're on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Emmy, I finally made it live. Good to see you. Great to have all you guys. I see all you folks coming from Great Britain and from Europe. It's so good to have you in the chat. Sitting in Jupiter, Florida, guys. And I'm not gloating. I'm not gloating to that fact. I just happen to be here. It's beautiful here. And it's backyard beverage, bitchin' with Bill, coffee with Cannon. Catherine Herring, pasta and Italian is my favorite food too. Good to see you. So one of the topics of our show last night is, where is the case going from here? Did they hit a brick wall? Do they have fresh leads coming in all the time? Are the leads coming in, and is the tips line, is that helping them? Have they gotten any tips that, I mean, what do you guys think, we answered this last night, do you guys think they have a direction in this case? Are they going toward a certain direction? Or are they just not sure where they're going with this case? Mighty Max, Stephanie Merlo, no. Do you think they don't have a direction with this case? I think that I think they do have a direction. I can't say that they're right on someone. They're targeting someone. Nicole Bolino, I often share police off-the-cuff real crime stories. Love the perspective of great professionals. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Sherry Hill, not sure. You guys be honest. I mean, I think that when you don't have a direction and when you're not sure where the case is going, you just got to keep your nose to the grindstone and keep investigating. Keep getting out into the community. Keep talking to people. My brother Kevin is in the chat. He says, "Little brother, good to see you on the job." Not so often members of my family that with the name Cannon, the last name, tune in. They sometimes tune in after the fact, but not always live. Good to see you, Kevin. They have a direction waiting on. Look, we've all been talking about the forensic evidence and how important this is. I think the toxicology should be coming back. We're at the 4-week, past the 4-week mark. Usually toxicology takes from 4 to 6 weeks. I sort of felt in this case that the toxicology wasn't going to tell you that much, but Dr. Michael Baden, who was many, many years ago the chief medical examiner for the New York City office of the chief medical examiner, he sort of thinks that the toxicology is very important in this case. I mean, we all know that the victims were drinking. I mean, that's been verified. They were out at, Zaina and Kaylee were out at a bar before they went home, right? And Ethan and Madison were at a fraternity party. So we know that. Aaron, yeah, Michael Baden is still alive. Yes, I think he's probably at the end of pretty close to the end of his career, but he seems like he's been around forever. Someone once at the NYPD range said, "That guy's older than water." I just thought it was pretty funny to compare someone to being as old as water, you know. So it's Baden fits into that category. He's older than water. Folks, 502 in the chat, 321 with the thumbs up. Thank you guys for all your support. Larry Jensen, hello from a former member of the SBCSD. I don't really know what those letters stand for, but thank you for your service. Zane and Ethan were together, not Maddie and Ethan. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Ethan was with Zaina Knodel, and Madison and Kaylee were together. I did make a mistake. It's I do that every once in a while. I'm human. I had it written in the wrong order, so that's why I said that. The bullied girl, who was her boyfriend, I think that was Kaylee Gonsalves. Moose Girl 108, Heather whatever. Good to see you, Heather whatever. Yeah, I mean, look, that's one of the things too when investigators on this case make a mistake. People and the media are all over them, like as if the media is the king of mistakes. Imagine someone reported on the media's reporting and pointed out all the mistakes they made. It could be entire shows. You could have 60-minute shows on the mistakes that the media makes. Some of the mistakes are on purpose, you know. So it's, you know, you can't just criticize people that because everyone makes a mistake. I used that expression last night, and we loved this expression on the police department, and I love it. I carry it with me for the rest of my life, and it goes like this: 1,000 attaboys, meaning attaboy, attaboy. 1,000 attaboys don't equal one shit. In essence, well, I think it's a great way to say it, but in essence, you can do 1,000 things right, and you make one mistake, and that's what you're remembered for. Yeah, Mighty Max, the attaboys, right? So when you make a mistake, you got to trade in 1,000 attaboys. Can you imagine that? There's other jobs like that too, right? Someone was asking me that, in my experience, if this person has this amount of rage, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know if this is exactly what you meant, will he strike again? I think there is a possibility. I mean, when they say this was targeted and personal, you think they know something, obviously, that we don't know. But my take on this is that someone disrespected a townie, and that's not like a term that I use lightly. A townie is usually someone that is from that community, say from Moscow, and maybe has a grudge or a jealousy or jealous rage, or and specifically, these girls were all three beautiful girls. You know, could one of them or a couple of them have disrespected some townie where he took it as a personal affront to his masculinity, and he carried that rage around with him? That is my opinion. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely, I could be wrong. Atacov, how could the culprit find their way in the dark? Well, easily. The person who did this knows that house, has been in that house before. They said there was a good possibility that the doors were unlocked, that he got in the house, didn't need a key, didn't need to break in. Marilyn Moneta agrees with me. That's good. Will, also the good vibe. I think you're right, on target. Well, you know something? I think that all of this is a distinct possibility. Again, could I be wrong? Absolutely. I mean, you hear other, I'll call them talking heads, because I think you guys like that expression. You hear a lot of talking heads. A couple of them think that this could be a serial killer. I personally don't think that. Crime Powwow, who's the property owner, obviously someone owns that house, and you know, in my experience, when something this horrendous happens in someone's house, I think he's going to have a very difficult time to rent that house ever again or to sell it. They may have to knock this house down. It's almost like it's cursed, you know. Sandy Hook, they had to knock the school down. What young kid would ever want to go to a school where 16 5-year-olds were slaughtered? And that was the school in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. That school's been knocked down. Beverly lawyers. So now everyone's coming to all these houses that heinous things have happened and they sold. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it would be tough. You know, would students want to rent this house, you think? I don't know. Uh, it's sort of tough to ask students, would you like to rent the house where 4 students were murdered inside? Uh, it's it's sort of a tough thing. Uh, Brad R., it's a spree killer. Could be. Mighty Max recorded an album inside. Mystique, no. Um, yeah, I don't think that they would have a lot of success renting that out. They have to reduce the rent. Yeah, anyone will rent it if the rent is reduced, right? Uh, it's just a crazy. Guys, 520 in the chat, 346 with the thumbs up. I want to thank everyone for coming by today. This is a very difficult case, and if it was easy, um, they would have solved it already. And we got to have faith and hope and prayers that they're on the right track, that they're getting the evidence back, that the information that they need to make an arrest in this case is in the forensic evidence. We said, and many real crime content creators said that this case is going to be solved through the science, through the forensic evidence. And I still believe it, and I think we just have to be patient. And I know it's easy to say. Canadian Cookie, whoever buys it will probably raise and rebuild it. That's from EMT 623. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a tough sell to sell this house. But, so guys, as soon as there's new information on this case, we'll come back and we'll probably do some more episodes. I don't like to just go on the air if we have nothing really new to talk about. But I guess part of this is that this community, I believe, likes to sit here like I'm doing now and discuss this case with each other, with friends and with people that they feel comfortable with. And I think it's almost like an hour of therapy. We get to sit here and talk to each other and discuss what's going on in this case. A bunch of young guys would probably rent it for cheap. Yeah, I know guys that would probably do that too. Heather, well, that a lot of things wouldn't seem long, just 1 month. I know it's scary. Yeah, it's been, well, I said before, I think it's been 36 days since this occurred. Yeah, crazy. And again, we're going to stay on this case. We're hoping and praying that the evidence will come back and point to a suspect. And Cheeky Llama Creations, I think so. Therapy, it has affected us all badly. Yeah, I mean, Dr. Max Lewis, we don't dig up roads and don't stop manufacturing vehicles just because someone got killed. That's true, Dr. Max, but I think with a house, it's like, although, you guys point out other houses that horrendous things, the Amityville horror house, that was sold, a whole family was murdered in that house. So I'm sure we could point it out all across the world where crime power as soon as the investigation is over, yes. Guys, I'm at 49 minutes, 15 seconds. I'm going to start saying goodbye. I want everyone to have a wonderful holiday season and going to all of these holiday parties. If you're going to drink, get a designated driver, right? Phil Grimaldi just showed up. He's a little late. I got about 30 seconds, Phil. Phil's all over Brooklyn. He's going all over the place during the daytime. So guys, I want you to all have a great holiday season. Stay safe, and you go to these holiday parties. Again, get someone else to drive. Take an Uber. Do not even think about driving if you're tipping a few drinks. Guys, have a wonderful day. And thank you for tuning in today. And God bless.